Good evening, or should I say, good night, my sleepy little friends. Go ahead, close your eyes, feel the weight of your day drift away as you settle deeper into your bed. Just listen to the sound of my voice, soft, steady. Imagine I'm right there, whispering beside you as you relax, calm and cozy. Let yourself drift off, but stay with me, just for a little bedtime story, something to send your mind wandering into dark, delightful dreams. All you need to do is listen, breathe, and let my words surround you. You're safe. Or are you? Just relax, keep those eyes closed, and let's begin. Once upon a time, it was well past midnight. The house was quiet, dimly lit, and full of 5 unsuspecting friends who thought they'd planned a night of harmless fun, horror movies, ghost stories, and popcorn. They didn't have the slightest clue that I, Ghostface, was waiting just outside, watching their every move. They'd laughed and joked about killers in masks on their screens, but they were about to find out just how real I could be. Emma was the first to catch my attention. I watched her as she wandered to the back door, a little too curious for her own good. She opened it, expecting to see her cat, or maybe just the wind stirring the leaves. Instead, she saw me, standing still as stone, my hollow, black eyes locked on hers. She froze in terror, and before she could scream, I grabbed her, my gloved hand silencing her as my knife gleamed in the moonlight. One quick, clean slice, and her eyes went dark. I dragged her lifeless body into the shadows, savoring the silence. Inside, her friend Liam was growing restless. "Emma?" he called softly. He picked up a flashlight and stepped outside, searching the backyard. I hid, waiting for him to step just a little closer. His light flickered over Emrna's body, lying in the mist, and he froze. Just as he turned to run, I grabbed his shoulder, twisting him around to face me. His eyes were wide with horror, and I watched as he tried to scream. But my blade was faster, plunging into his chest. The flashlight slipped from his hands, falling to the ground as he joined Emma in the cold night air. Back inside, Sophia was oblivious, her face lit by her phone's soft glow, scrolling without a care in the world. I tapped on the window, watching her flinch. She brushed it off at first, but I tapped again, harder. She looked up, and I saw her eyes go wide as she finally noticed me staring through the glass. She let out a small, strangled cry, backing away. I slipped inside, moving silently through the house, closer and closer as she tried to escape. She barely made it down the hall before I grabbed her, my hand tightening around her shoulder. My knife found its mark, and she collapsed, her blood staining the hallway floor as I stepped over her, leaving her still and silent. Only 2 left, now Ben and Alyssa. They'd heard Sophia's scream and were beginning to understand the fear that was filling the house. I watched them from the shadows as they clutched each other, wide-eyed, thinking they could outsmart me. Ben, trying to be brave, grabbed a kitchen knife, his hands shaking. "We stick together," he whispered to Alyssa. "How sweet." I watched them inch down the hallway, watching every shadow. They thought they had a chance, but I was already there, slipping out from the darkness to block their path. Ben raised his knife, his face pale with terror. I couldn't help but laugh, a low, mocking sound that filled the silent house. Before he could react, I lunged at him, grabbing his arm and twisting it until his knife clattered to the ground. In one swift motion, I drove my knife into his chest, his horrified expression frozen as he fell, the life drained from his eyes, and I turned to Alyssa. Alyssa's scream was loud enough to echo through the empty house. She tried to run, but Elle let her go for a moment. She fled up the stairs, locking herself in a closet. I could hear her frantic breathing, her heartbeat pounding against the thin wooden door. Slowly, I approached, dragging my knife along the walls, letting her hear each step as I drew closer. I stopped in front of the closet, savoring the fear radiating from inside. With the tip of my knife, I scratched a line along the door, listening as her breathing grew faster, and then I pushed the door open. She looked at me, her eyes wide, pleading. She tried to scream one last time, but my knife was already in motion. The blade found its target, and she slumped forward, her cries silenced. As dawn broke, the house was still, the scattered popcorn and empty rooms, a faint reminder of the fun they'd planned. I slipped back into the shadows, leaving behind only the memory of fear and my mask's haunting smile. The town would remember the story of the 5 friends who vanished, but they'd never know where they'd gone or if I might come back. Thank you for listening, for letting me share my little tale of terror with you. I hope it brought a chill down your spine, a reminder of the shadows lurking just out of sight. We will be back soon for more. Keep your doors locked and your lights low. Sweet dreams and good night.